So I know this news is a little old. It's a few days old, but hey, I do have a life outside of this, so forgive me for that. But I figured better late than never. So we're gonna talk. Talk about this bit of news and kind of throw my hat into the arena. So with Warner Brothers being a giant dumpster fire as of late, we did get some good news in that what's saved and what's not. Thankfully, the Batman 2 is still coming along with the Penguin spinoff. We don't know about the Arkham show that's supposed to go with it, but we hope that gets done. Also, David Zaslav is making, again, as I said before in a previous video, he's making Bob Chapek look good, which I didn't think was fucking possible, but yet here we are. So we did get a lot of news regarding a few movies that coming out, and we got a brief description of the next Godzilla vs. Kong movie, which is being under the title Origins. This will not be a versus movie, this will be a team-up movie between Godzilla and Kong. Basically, the description is that Godzilla and Kong are teaming up to take on a threat that is underground, so obviously somewhere in the inner Earth. It's more or less like the inner Earth, the Hollow Earth, excuse me. Yeah, it's basically somewhere in the Hollow Earth, of a new threat in the Hollow Earth. And it's a underground adversary. My friend Jason basically threw out this idea, and it made me kind of think. So I thought, so this is the basis of that video. Now, keep in mind, this is a theory. This is just a random theory, and Jason and I could be totally wrong. But basically what the theory is that could it be a Monsterverse version of Megalon coming? Now, Megalon is not a major... in terms of, Godzilla villainy, he's not really that big in terms of Godzilla villainy. We do see him a lot. For some reason, Megalon is popular. For some reason or another, Megalon is a popular kaiju in Japan. And he does kind of get a lot of spotlight in places here and there. I don't get it. I get that Godzilla vs. Megalon is probably was probably the most seen Godzilla film in most films. I do understand that in terms of Godzilla film in Godzilla filmography, Godzilla vs. Megalon is the most popular, but not for the best reasons, because yeah, that movie is I do love Jet Jaguar, and there are some fun things. But that movie is there's a reason why it's on MS3TK. Just saying. But yeah, But Megalon is a known kaiju. He is a known monster. And we don't know what monsters were given to... we still don't know how many monsters were allowed to be licensed to Legendary. We don't know how many monsters have gone to Legendary to be a part of. That's the thing. A lot of people think when you get Godzilla, you get all the monsters. Not necessarily. For each monster, you have to get a different license for each monster. And that's kind of a problem, because the current sale records for Warner Brothers is that they have lost $5.5 billion in 3 months alone. They can't even afford promoting their work anymore. They can't promote. They only have 3 movies coming out this year for the rest of the year. Yeah, they can't promote anything. They can't even sell They can barely sell merchandise. They can barely do any deals because they've alienated things so bad. That's not Legendary, mind you. And Legendary, I think, is going to keep trucking along as best as they can, because they've well protected. Because Legendary, it's more under Godzilla and Kong are more under Legendary, and Legendary is under Warner Brothers, but it's more protected. That Legendary is well shielded from the fire that Zaslav has created. To quote one director, "It's a fucking mess, guys." So yeah. So I don't know, maybe they got Megalon in a deal prior, but this is, again, going by the assumption that Megalon is under there. That's the other thing we have to look at, is that, it may not even be Megalon in the movie. It could be a completely different kaiju. It could be Titanosaurus. It could be, a version of Destroya, or Anguirus, or another monster. It could be anyone. Hell, and this is the one I'm kind of hoping for, it's a new monster. Yeah, I know. Everyone is always saying, I want a new kaiju, I want this monster and that monster in the Monsterverse. Yeah, but did we ever, like, stop and go, how about some new monsters? Because I always see, like, oh, I love all these monsters, but why can't they just make new... I love all these monsters, why can't they make new monsters? They do, and when they do, you bitch and moan about not having new monsters. See where I'm going? Yeah, that's always been my thing, is that, people want new monsters, but when they come out with new monsters, they bitch and moan about not having, the classic monsters here. I want some new monster blood in my kaiju films. Yeah, when the Skullcrawlers showed up, they were a cool design, and I kind of hope they do show up here, because I'd love to see Godzilla fight some Skullcrawlers. Actually, it's kind of what... We did see Mechagodzilla kill a Skullcrawler, but I'd love to see, like, Godzilla fighting Skullcrawlers, like them swarming all over him, and he's just, like, ripping them off or blasting them. I would love a whole scene of Godzilla or fighting the Warbats. That would be really cool. Like, I'd love to see Godzilla in the Hollow Earth. That's what I'm I'm a little more excited about, because the idea of Godzilla coming back to Hollow Earth after all this time and being the alpha kaiju on Earth and coming down to what is essentially Kong's domain is pretty cool. So yeah. Yeah, we also know that there's a new cast. We have some returning characters. We have some new actors. I believe one of the new ones is Dan Stevens, who most of you guys would know best as Legion. Yeah, Legion is a part of this film branch of the film now. Dan Stevens, the actor who played Legion, excuse me. Yeah, so he's a part of it. We are getting Brian Tyree Hill come back as his character from GVK, which I'm not excited. I like Brian Tyree Hill. I think he's a good actor, but his character just annoyed me to no end. So I don't know why the fuck he's here. Adam Wingard is coming back to direct. That's the other thing that is interesting, because I think Adam Wingard is even like, yeah, I think Adam Wingard is a good director, but he's hit and miss. I did like You're Next. I didn't. We can all agree that his Death Note movie was not great, not the best, but I don't fully put that on his shoulders, because word on the street is, and I don't know if this is true or not, but word on the street is that movie got radically changed from what he wanted it to be. So I don't fully blame him for that. And I don't think his Blair Witch movie is as bad as people make it out. It's not good. It's not good, but it is way better than Book of Shadows. Let's be real. It is miles above what Book of Shadows is. We can all agree that it's way better than that movie. But it's not good, but it's a decent movie. And let's be real, there's no way you can make a good Blair Witch sequel film. Let's be generally real here. So, I'm just kind of hoping for a new kaiju. That's really what I'm boiling down to, is that I just really would love a new kaiju to show up in the Monsterverse. That's what I would really love to see. Some new blood. That's what I would really love to see. Not like a variant of the Skullcrawlers, like it's the Emperor Skullcrawler or something, some dumb shit like that. Just like how they basically made the Queen Muto, and then they made the Muto Prime in the Monsterverse comics. Like they did that. I don't want like a variant of something. I want something new. I want like a new monster to show up. But getting back to the whole Megalon thing, let's cycle back to Megalon finally. Megalon, how if theoretically, like let's say it is Megalon as the new villain, like what would he look like? Would they go with the more roach-like? Because I've seen like versions like him like have the lower body like a bug, like he would just skitter around. I also have seen like people saying like maybe the drills can be like his forearms like a mantis, and he would like walk around on them. I don't know. I don't think that would work. And also, if you are gonna go with Megalon, like let's say hypothetically they do go with Megalon, you have gotta do the Cetopians or a version of them. You would have to do. That was the only thing that would get me interested if you had Megalon here, is if you did the Cetopians along with it. They're the people who worship him, and then you could say like I think it'd be kind of cool if you brought back the Cetopians and made them like this new version is like a tribe of Iwi people who were driven from driven from Skull Island and into the deeps of the Hollow Earth because they were like more violent and savage. They were more advanced, but they were more warlike. Like that's what I'd like to like. That's what I would do with a Monsterverse version of the Seatopians, is make them more like they were more advanced, but they were also more warlike. So the Iwi drove them away and into the Hollow Earth, and they had their own god, like kind of like how Kong is the Kong or their god, like Kong is the Iwi tribe's god. Megalon became their god in the Hollow Earth. Like that's what get me go. That would make me go, okay, that'll work. Like I'll take that. But yeah, but again, it's all hypothetical. It's all like just a theory. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of the idea of Megalon? Do you think Megalon could be in the Monsterverse in the next GVK movie? Or would you want it to be a different monster or an entirely new monster? I'm leaning towards new monster. Personally, I'm just leaning more towards a new Kaiju, but that's just me. Other than that, yeah, you guys comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.